It's not just another day in your life. Things are changing for the better. At Comcast, we see those changes, and we're thinking about how we use technology today to live, work, learn, and play. And we're building for the future now, so we're better prepared for the wants and needs of tomorrow. That's why Comcast is rolling out multi-gig internet speeds to more than 50 million homes and businesses before the end of 2025, making our already industry-leading network even faster, smarter, greener, and more reliable. Over the decades, Comcast has been your partner, working hard to serve your community, and will continue to be your partner. We're expanding our gigabits so you can enjoy the tiny bits that matter most.
I'm Brandon Jones, host of the Teen Mental Health podcast, It Is Not Your Fault.
And I'm Lambert Fisher, family therapist and host of the Diversity Dude podcast.
We're not always going to be all right, and that's what makes us human. Often, when we're in pain or even thinking of suicide, we may not want others to know, but you'll feel better if you talk to someone, and you can do that safely and anonymously.
We can recognize when loved ones are not okay. They bottle up, they isolate, they're angry.
That's why we want you to know about 988, Minnesota Lifeline, for someone you're worried about or even yourself.
Anyone with an emotional or mental health related need can call, chat, or text 988 for free, confidential support. You can connect with 988 to discuss difficulty with money, relationships, anxiety, your job, concerns about drug or alcohol use, grief support, figuring out your identity, and more.
You don't even have to identify yourself or the person you're calling about, and no insurance is needed.
988 is available 24/7 year-round and can interpret in more than 200 languages.
So take a brave step. Call or text 988.
Or chat at 988lifeline.org. You don't have to do this alone.
Want your boss to put some real action behind the rhetoric when they talk about making your workplace more inclusive? Find out how to hold their feet to the fire and demand diversity on the Diversity Dude podcast.
Hello there, and welcome back to the Diversity Dude podcast. I'm your host, Lambert Fisher, marriage and family therapist, award-winning author, and national speaker on the topic of multicultural awareness and diversity. And for those of you who are interested in even more positive and encouraging tips and strategies beyond what I share in podcasts like this, then feel free to check out my award-winning book, Diversity in Clinical Practice, nationally recognized for the unique way in which it addresses the often difficult topic of multicultural awareness and diversity. Designed for more than just therapists, if you're a helping professional in any way, Diversity in Clinical Practice can help you meet the greatest variety of cultural needs possible for those whom you serve. And it's available in paper and audiobook versions for your convenience. And whether you or not you heard it yet, I invite you to check out TED.com and check out my talk called What to Do When You Offend Someone, where I offer a positive and practical perspective on how to navigate unintentional offenses in daily life. To date, it's been viewed over 500,000 times. Check it out for yourself. And if you're encouraged as well, share with a friend. And whether it be through my one-on-one relationship building efforts as a therapist or my informing and empowering efforts as an author and speaker, know that my personal mission is to do my part to improve the world one strengthened relationship at a time. So, today I want to share with you an encouraging perspective in pursuit of culturally competent healthcare. Now, I recently had the great honor of speaking to leaders in the healthcare industry. I was pleased with the receptivity that there was for ideas that could help them do whatever was in their ability to help meet the greatest variety of cultural needs possible, no matter the cultural similarities or differences between them and those whom they were tasked with serving. After spending time equipping them with practical tips and strategies for how to better serve you for the next time you're in need of their help, I thought it would be prudent to share with you a few strategies for how you can help increase your odds that you receive this culturally competent support from the next healthcare professional you encounter. The first consideration is this: know yourself culturally. This recommendation may seem odd because we often believe and know that we already know ourselves best. In contrast, we believe that it's the healthcare professional who needs to get to know us. However, just because we have the most life experience with ourselves doesn't mean that we have a lot of experience helping someone else who hasn't lived that life understand our lives, our experiences, and all the physical and mental feelings that come as a result of those experiences. Not even just your experience ethnically, but also your unique experiences that relate to your age, gender identity, socioeconomic status, faith beliefs, and more aspects of your identity. In this way, I encourage you to get to know yourself in such a way that you can help someone else learn you. That's a different kind of knowing. This involves knowing who you are in comparison to others so that you can describe how you're similar and how you're different. And while there are times when it would be great to not have to help someone learn you, and it is definitely the healthcare professional's responsibility to learn you, the more you can help bridge that understanding gap, the better prepared and equipped the professional can be to help you meet your needs. The second consideration is this: own your cautions. As a marriage counselor, I've had to come to the appreciation of the fact that some kinds of trust can be freely given and other kinds of trust need to be earned. Interestingly, most people that I've encountered believe that they should be given trust unless they've personally done something wrong to lose it and thus need to earn it back. Unfortunately, sometimes negative life experiences in the past may cause us to distrust someone else in the present simply because of some similarity between them. I think of this when healthcare professionals assume that their position and genuine intentions warrant not just respect, but also trust. While it's a reasonable desire, negative past experiences that precede interactions with these professionals can reasonably make that sort of preemptive trust difficult to offer. So while I encourage healthcare professionals to learn not to take this personally, as if the lack of automatic trust is a personal assessment of their lack of intentions or efforts thereof, I want to take the time to encourage you to accept your own cautions as well. Accept the fact that negative past experiences, either personally experienced or personally witnessed or even relayed to you from the real experiences of someone you know, can impact your ability to trust. While how you express that caution is up to you or other individuals, know that you can increase your likelihood of being heard by acknowledging what trust barriers you bring to the table without judgment or accusation of yourself or others. And then invite the healthcare professional serving you to respect that caution and offer a better experience than you've had in the past to earn that trust. And the third consideration is this: I encourage you to resist cultural gaslighting. While this topic alone of cultural gaslighting warrants its own dedicated podcast effort, let me include it here as an encouragement to continually be as honest with yourself and self aware as possible, so as to help equip you with the mental fortitude to resist cultural gaslighting. It's not easy to do, but in this sense, cultural gaslighting, I'm referring to the practice of responding to frustrations and complaints about cultural injustices, not just by dismissing the validity of the impact of those experiences, but by questioning whether the experiences even existed outside of that person's mind. Because this tendency is real, unfortunately, it happens all the time. When you find yourself seeking healthcare support from professionals who may not share your cultural identity or similar experiences, prepare yourself for the possibility that they may not only not understand, but they also might deny your experiences altogether. Interestingly, it may not even be done with malice intent. But whether due to ignorance or stereotyped beliefs about what's real and what's not, it's in your best interest to surround yourself with people who can validate the legitimacy of your experience. And then to learn how to express yourself healthily to inform ignorance when that is, in fact, the motivating factor to their response to you, or confront dismissals when that's the unfortunate motivator instead. While there's always more that we can talk about on topics like this, the guiding principle through each of these considerations is this: the fact that my hope for you is that you will learn to grow in your knowledge and acceptance of yourself so that you can more effectively advocate for yourself and thus receive the care that you need when you need it. When you know yourself and how you feel, it's harder for someone else to convince you that you are someone else or of lesser value than you ought to be viewed, and that your feelings aren't important at all or real, intentionally or unintentionally. And when you're able to do this consistently, then you'll be able to help others learn how to do this for themselves as well. I'll do my part to continue to work with as many healthcare professionals as well as helping professionals in various fields to improve their cultural competence in their care for you that they're providing. In the meantime, with practical strategies like this, you can help them see you for who you really are at the same time. And with that, I'll say thanks again for listening to today's Diversity Do podcast. If you have any pressing diversity related questions that you'd like me to address in an upcoming podcast, or if your organization is in need of an empowering or train, empowering a shame-free guest speaker on this topic, then feel free to reach out to me directly at www.diversitymadesimple.com. And if you know of anyone else who can benefit from a positive and encouraging perspective on this often difficult topic of diversity, feel free to send them a link to this podcast so they can be encouraged as well. Or share with them my award-winning book, Diversity in Clinical Practice, available at Amazon.com. And if you haven't read it yet or heard it yet, visit TED.com and check out my talk on what to do when you offend someone. I hope that it inspires you and that you can share with someone else so they can be inspired as well. And as usual, I look forward to addressing as many topics as possible in future podcasts to help you improve as many relationships as possible at work, at home, and in your community. And as always, remember this: you don't need to know everything about everyone in order to have a positive impact on someone. Thank you all for tuning in, and have a great day.
Tune in each week and find out how to demand and implement diversity at your job. To hear more, check out previous Diversity Dude shows on ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com.
You know Shaletta makes you laugh, but did you know Shaletta Brundage can also make you think and boost your business? Media personality, activist, and comedian Shaletta Brundage founded Shaletta Makes Me Laugh to celebrate and share the best of Black culture. It's a podcasting platform. You can download 10 weekly podcasts hosted by African-American subject experts at ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com is also a production house, creating broadcast-quality commercial content. And Shaletta and her team of storytellers create powerful promotional campaigns to get businesses the brand awareness they're looking for. Some of Minnesota's top businesses trust Shaletta, and you can too. Get out the word about your events and products and get in front of communities of color with ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com. She's got the power to help your business.
Mark your calendar for October 17th. That's Open House Day at Summit Academy OIC. And that's where your next career begins. In just 20 weeks, Summit Academy can prepare you to be a medical administrative assistant, IT specialist, carpenter, electrician, or financial services professional. These are good paying jobs in high demand in the Twin Cities. Summit Academy will not only prepare you for a job with advancement opportunities, they'll help you connect with employers and hiring managers. That's right, Summit Academy has a list of local employer partners ready and eager to hire Summit graduates. At the open house, you'll meet Summit instructors and staff. These incredible people will guide you through the entire process, from application to graduation. And if you're looking to earn your GED, Summit can help with that. Come to Summit Academy's open house, located at 935 Olson Memorial Highway in North Minneapolis. Find out more at saoic.org. And we'll see you October 17th from 3 to 5 p.m.
If you live in an older home, it may contain lead-based paint on walls, woodwork, and windows. Even more bad news, lead exposure can be dangerous to young children and impact their brain development. And now, the good news. Hennepin County will fix lead hazards in your home at no cost to you.
We were worried because of the paint in the windows in the bedroom. They were peeling and chipping, and we know that when paint peels and chips and it looks a certain way, that's possibly lead. We were worried for our children more so than anything.
Eligible homes can qualify for up to $15,000 in upgrades. You may even qualify for new energy-efficient windows. Don't worry, Hennepin County has a trusted list of pre-approved contractors. You won't even have to find companies with correct licenses or certifications.
I've just done a test and it's positive. So we know that this is lead-based paint, and then we know it's a hazard because it's creating dust every time this window moves and opens. And if you look in here, that's just full of lead paint chips.
You won't have to stay with your cousin while you're getting the lead out. Hennepin County even pays for you and your family to stay in a hotel while the work is underway. The last good news is how easy it is to apply. Just go to hennepin.us/lead control to get started.
I'm really happy with the program. We can go to bed knowing that our children are safe.
That's hennepin.us/lead control. Tell your friends about it.
I'm Brandon Jones, host of the Teen Mental Health Podcast, It Is Not Your Fault.
And I'm Lambert Fisher, family therapist and host of the Diversity Dude Podcast.
We're not always going to be all right, and that's what makes us human. Often, when we're in pain or even thinking of suicide, we may not want others to know, but you'll feel better if you talk to someone, and you can do that safely and anonymously.
We can recognize when loved ones are not okay. They bottle up, they isolate, they're angry.
That's why we want you to know about 988 Minnesota Lifeline for someone you're worried about or even yourself.
Anyone with an emotional or mental health related need can call, chat, or text 988 for free, confidential support. You can connect with 988 to discuss difficulty with money, relationships, anxiety, your job, concerns about drug or alcohol use, grief support, figuring out your identity, and more.
You don't even have to identify yourself or the person you're calling about, and no insurance is needed.
988 is available 24/7 year-round and can interpret in more than 200 languages.
So take a brave step. Call or text 988.
Or chat at 988lifeline.org. You don't have to do this alone.
Are you the parent or guardian of an adult with autism? If your loved one has no restrictions through court order, then they are eligible to vote. And you can assist them in many ways. Some citizens with autism don't like unfamiliar places and activities. These voters might prefer to cast their ballot at an early voting center. Leading up to Election Day, these early voting centers are less busy and less likely to require waiting. Early voting centers are open all over Minnesota, and you can vote there right now. Or you can request an absentee ballot to vote by mail. That's right. Eligible voters can cast their ballots without ever leaving home. On Election Day, curbside voting is another option to make voting easy and comfortable. Election judges will bring a ballot directly to the vehicle with a person with a disability. Make a plan to support and assist your loved one with autism this election season, so they can participate and exercise their precious right to vote. You can find out more at mmvotes.gov. That's mmvotes.gov.